slide, no escape from reality. I've had my share of sad kicks in my face, but I've come through. Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face.
You know these songs, not because you played them on repeat, but because they followed you. Karaoke nights, wedding dance floors, stadium chants, road trips. Queen didn't just write hits, they wrote soundtracks to our lives. And behind each one, a little drama, a lot of genius, and some straight-up madness. Let's break them down. Every Queen classic you still know by heart. Explained. Bohemian Rhapsody.
Open your eyes, look up to the skies.
1975. This isn't just a song, it's an event. A 6-minute, multi-part opera rock fever dream that somehow shouldn't work, but absolutely does. When Queen dropped Bohemian Rhapsody in 1975, people genuinely didn't know what to do with it. It had no chorus. It changed styles 4 times. And the lyrics? Total mystery. Is it about guilt? Murder? Freddie's inner world? Even the band refused to explain it. Freddie famously said, "It means whatever you want it to mean." Classic Mercury, and let's talk vocals. Freddie layered his voice hundreds of times for those soaring harmonies. Brian May's guitar solo, like a screaming falsetto in string form. And the operatic middle section, that wasn't a joke. That was Queen saying, "We're going to do rock, like Puccini with a perm."
Bismillah, no, we will not let you go. Let him go. Bismillah.
At the time, no radio station wanted to play it. Too long, too weird, too much. But then, DJ Kenny Everett in London played it anyway, and people lost it. They called in, begged to hear it again, and turned a 6-minute epic into one of the biggest rock anthems of all time. Today, Bohemian Rhapsody isn't just Queen's crown jewel, it's one of the most streamed songs ever. It made its way back to the charts again in the 90s thanks to Wayne's World, and again in the 2010s thanks to the biopic. It's weird, it's beautiful, it's untouchable. And it still gets screamed at full volume in cars worldwide, headbang included. Don't Stop Me Now, 1978.
I'm having a good time, having a good time. A shooting star leaping through the sky.
If Pure Joy had a soundtrack, it would sound exactly like this. Don't Stop Me Now wasn't just Freddie having a good time. It was Freddie telling the world he was unstoppable. Written at the height of Queen's success and Mercury's wildest years, it's basically 3 minutes of musical caffeine. The tempo? Fast. The piano? Racing. The energy? Full throttle. You can hear the grin in his voice. And get this.
Having a good time. A shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger.
Brian May almost didn't want it on the album. Why? Because he thought it was too self-indulgent, too much about Freddie's personal lifestyle, which was starting to spiral. But musically? Even he admitted it was electric. It didn't even chart that high in the US at the time. Queen had way bigger hits.
Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time, having a good time.
But somehow this song became a viral phoenix. Commercials, movies, weddings, workout playlists, even awkward company parties, you name it. It exploded in the 2000s and has never slowed down. And the lyrics? They're basically Freddie writing himself as a superhero, a racing car, a satellite, a sex machine ready to reload. Subtle? No. Iconic? Absolutely. This is the kind of song that kicks down your door, hands you a cocktail, and yells, "We're going out!" And you just say yes. Because how could you not? Somebody to Love, 1976.
Each morning I get out my dialect, can barely stand on my feet.
If Bohemian Rhapsody was Queen's operatic flex, this was their gospel soul moment, with just as much drama. Somebody to Love is Freddie's cry for connection, layered with harmonies so rich you could swim in them. Inspired by Aretha Franklin, yes, that Aretha, Freddie wanted to channel the raw, emotional power of gospel music, but do it his way. And Queen being Queen didn't hire a choir, they became one. Dozens of vocal tracks from just 3 members, Freddie, Brian, and Roger. That wall of sound, all them. Lyrically, it hits different. This isn't flashy or smug, it's aching. Freddie's belting about loneliness, praying for love, and asking, "Can anybody find me somebody to love?" And the way his voice cracks near the end, that's not a vocal choice, that's a man bleeding into a mic, and yet, it still soars. The build-up, the breakdown, the falsetto, the chaos, the hope. It's heartbreak disguised as an anthem. When Queen performed it live, it stopped crowds cold.
Somebody love.
Freddie wouldn't just sing it, he'd preach it, command it, feel every second of it, and fans felt it too, every time. Somebody to Love wasn't just a hit. It was Freddie showing the world that beneath the glitter, the costumes, and the swagger, there was a voice and a soul that hurt just like everyone else. We Are the Champions, 1977.
We are the champions, my friend.
This is the victory song, the final boss anthem, the soundtrack to every trophy lift since the 70s. But here's what most people forget. We Are the Champions isn't just about winning, it's about surviving. Listen closely. Freddie isn't gloating, he's recounting the scars. I've had my share of sand kicked in my face. That's not bravado. That's battle. And then he declares himself a champion. It's Freddie as gladiator. The song was written as a response to the critics because Queen got ripped apart in their early years, called pretentious, over the top, too theatrical.
No pleasure cruise. I consider it a
So what did they do? They wrote a slow piano-led ballad that turned into a stadium-smashing victory cry. Oh, and paired it with We Will Rock You as the B-side. Casual flex. Brian May's guitar is almost restrained here. No solo gymnastics, just emotional weight. Roger Taylor's drumming, tight and triumphant. But it's Freddie's delivery that makes it immortal. He doesn't just sing it, he owns it. Every syllable lands like a mic drop.
I'll keep on fighting till the end.
Fun fact, a scientific study once named it the catchiest song of all time. Which checks out. Go to any football match and you'll hear it, loud, off-key, and full of heart. It's not just Queen's song anymore, it's ours. Killer Queen, 1974.
Caviar and cigarettes, well-versed in etiquette, extraordinary.
This is where Queen became Queen. Killer Queen wasn't their first song, but it was the one that made the world stop and go, wait, who are these guys? It was slick. It was strange, and it sounded like nothing else on the radio in 1974. The lyrics? A posh, seductive assassin who dines on caviar and keeps poison in her pretty little purse. Freddie once said it was about a high-class call girl, but honestly, it could have been about him, or anyone who walks into a room and owns it without trying.
Rub of a hat, she's as willing as faithful as the pussy.
Musically, it's a masterclass in elegance and chaos. The piano sparkles, the vocal harmonies sneak up on you, and Brian May's guitar solo, razor sharp and perfectly placed. Every note feels like it's wearing velvet gloves and holding a knife.
In conversation, she spoke just like a baroness.
This is Queen before the stadiums, before the anthems, showing off just how weird, witty, and dangerously polished they could be. It wasn't loud or brash. It was clever. And that's why it hit. It climbed the charts. It got them on top of the pops. It turned them from glam rock weirdos into the band that knew exactly what they were doing. Killer Queen wasn't just a hit. It was a wink and a warning. Under Pressure, 1981.
Pushing down on me, pressing down on you. No man has.
Two legends, one basement, zero plan. Under Pressure wasn't supposed to happen. Queen and David Bowie were just hanging out in a studio in Montreux, messing around, jamming, drinking too much wine, and suddenly, boom, one of the most iconic bass lines in history shows up. Not from a spreadsheet, from a vibe. That dum-da-da-dum-dum is John Deacon, by the way. He wrote it, forgot he wrote it, and had to be reminded later. Casual genius. The whole thing feels spontaneous because it was. They didn't even fully agree on lyrics. Freddie had his lines. Bowie wanted rewrites. Tension, definitely. Pressure, literally. And somehow, out of that mess came magic. The result is raw, frantic, almost too emotional. Freddie wails, Bowie soars, they beg for change. Why can't we give love one more chance? It's messy in the way real pain is messy, urgent, confused, pleading. And that's why it lands.
Give it to me.
wasn't Queen's usual sound. It wasn't Bowie's either, but that collision, that lightning in a bottle moment, it gave us a song that still hits just as hard today on headphones, in films, at protests, or just when life's a little too loud. And yes, Vanilla Ice copied the bass line. We all know, we've all healed. We Will Rock You, 1977.
Kicking your can all over the place, singing, "We will."
Stomp, stomp, clap, repeat. That's it. That's the whole song. Well, almost. We Will Rock You is basically the musical version of getting hit in the chest with a tribal drum made of testosterone and stadium dust.
Disgrace, somebody better put your bag into your place. We will.
And it works. Brian May wrote it after a Queen gig where the crowd kept singing their own chant after the band left the stage. He went home and thought, what if we give them something they can do back? The result? A rhythm designed for mass participation. No instruments, just human noise. The song is under 2 minutes, but it's been echoing through arenas for decades. And Freddie? He doesn't really sing here, he growls. Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise. It's not a melody, it's a challenge, a warning, a verbal war paint. By the time it ends, you're not listening to the song, you are the song, stomping, clapping, ready to riot. Here's the kicker. The full version has a ridiculous guitar solo. After the main version fades out, most people have never even heard it, but Brian May just lets loose like the song's been holding him back the whole time. We Will Rock You isn't a track, it's an anthem. And it proved that Queen didn't need complexity to crush. Sometimes 2 stomps and a clap say everything. Another one bites the dust, 1980.
He walks further down the street with the brim pulled way down low.
This is Queen at their coolest and funkiest. Another one bites the dust sounds like it rolled out of a smoky club in the middle of the night wearing shades and not explaining itself. The bass line, iconic, instantly recognizable, and yes, it was inspired by Chick. John Deacon was a huge fan of funk and disco, and this was his baby from start to finish.
Another one gone, another one gone, another one bites the dust.
Fun fact, the rest of the band wasn't even sold on it at first. It was too different, too stripped down, too groovy. But then Michael Jackson, yes, MJ, heard it and told them straight up, that needs to be a single. And when the King of Pop tells you to do something, you listen. It exploded, their biggest US hit ever. Number 1. Even the hip-hop crowd loved it. It became a breakdance staple, and it had 0 guitar solo, no glam, no opera, just attitude. And lyrically, it's basically a body count set to a dance beat. Are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? It's like Freddie's pacing the ring, taunting whoever's next. This wasn't Queen being weird or theatrical. This was Queen saying, we can do your genre better than you. And then walking out with your crown. I Want to Break Free, 1984.
I want to break free.
This song has layers, like soap opera in drag, while starting a revolution levels of layers. On the surface, I Want to Break Free sounds like a synth-pop bop about personal freedom. And sure it is, but it's also one of Queen's most misunderstood tracks. Written by bassist John Deacon, it wasn't originally political. It was about the everyday fight to escape whatever's holding you back. Bad jobs, bad relationships, boring routines, universal stuff.
To break free from your lies, you're so self-satisfied, I don't need.
Then came the video, and that changed everything. Queen dressed as housewives, parodying the British soap Coronation Street. Freddie in a leather miniskirt, heels, and that mustache, vacuuming like a queen who pays rent. In the UK, people loved it. They got the joke, but in America, not so much. MTV banned the video. Too weird, too provocative, too Freddie. That one move pretty much tanked Queen's momentum in the US during the mid-'80s, but globally, I Want to Break Free became an anthem, especially in South America, Eastern Europe, and apartheid era, South Africa, where breaking free took on a much deeper meaning. Freddie's delivery is playful, but there's something real underneath it. A man in full control of his performance, yet quietly revealing the weight of wanting more. It's camp, it's catchy, it's quietly defiant, and it still hits in 2025. The Show Must Go On, 1991.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Ooh, inside my...
This one hurts, but it also might be Queen's most powerful moment. By 1991, Freddie Mercury was dying. AIDS had taken its toll. He was thin, frail, and in pain. And yet, this is the song he chose to sing. Not a ballad, not a whisper. A full-blown, theatrical, emotional, sky-splitting anthem.
Soon be turning round the corner now.
Brian May wrote most of it, trying to capture what it felt like watching Freddie fade, but refused to quit. He didn't even know if Freddie could sing it. His voice was barely holding on. But when they got in the studio, Freddie downed a shot of vodka, stepped up to the mic, and destroyed the track. No vocal warm-up, no hesitation, just fire. I'll face it with a grin. I'm never giving in. He wasn't pretending. He meant it. It's not just the lyrics. It's how every line sounds like it's climbing a mountain, carrying the weight of goodbye. The band knew what was coming. Freddie knew. And still, he gave us this. Released just 6 weeks before his death, The Show Must Go On became the unofficial curtain call of a man who refused to let illness take the spotlight. He didn't go quietly. He went loud, dramatic, and unforgettable. This song doesn't just close Queen's discography. It closes the story, and somehow, even with all the loss, it still ends with hope. Queen didn't just make hits, they made history. Every track, a different shade of genius. If you made it this far, you know these songs aren't just catchy, they mean something. Drop your favorite in the comments. And tell me which one still gives you chills. Hit like if you felt anything. Subscribe if you want more stories behind the music.